You know, some nights in the NBA are just different. They've got a certain weight to them. This was one of those nights. This wasn't just another game on the schedule. This was a powder keg waiting for a match. We're breaking down an absolute thriller between two Western Conference titans, the Thunder and the Nuggets.
So let's set the stage. On one side, you've got the Thunder, just cruising with a stellar 45-15 record. And on the other, the defending champion Nuggets, right there in the hunt. But honestly, the records, they only tell part of the story. The real story, the tension you could feel through the screen, was that this was a rematch of last year's brutal playoff series. That memory was fresh, and the stakes were sky high from the jump. And what's the one thing that could pour gasoline on this already raging fire? Well, how about the return of the reigning MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? After being out for 9 games, SGA wasn't just back, he was back with a vengeance. He went out and dropped 36 points, and you could just feel the energy from the home crowd. They were absolutely electric.
Yeah, there was no feeling out process in this one. No one was easing into it. The intensity was there from the opening tip, a clear sign that this was going to be a 48-minute dogfight, both physically and mentally. And this timeline, it tells you everything you need to know about how this game started. In just the first 2 minutes, you get the pure brilliance of SGA with that silky smooth driving layup. Then literally moments later, you get the pure aggression as he gets teed up for throwing the ball at Jokic. Skill and spite, all in the first 120 seconds. What a start. Now you'd think with the hero's return and all that home court energy, the Thunder would come out swinging, right? Nope. It was actually the visiting Nuggets who looked like the team to beat. They were not intimidated one bit. In fact, it kind of felt like they were feeding off that hostile crowd, and they put on an absolute clinic in the first half. And get this, the guy leading the charge was a surprise. Jamal Murray wasn't even a sure thing to play. He was questionable, battling an illness, but he suited up, and man, did he deliver. He played one of his best games of the year, just torching the Thunder defense for a game-high 39 points. An absolutely gutsy, unbelievable performance. So how'd they build that lead? Well, look no further. This chart right here is the whole story of the first half. I mean, look at that difference from three-point land. The Nuggets were just on fire, hitting 11 threes. The Thunder, they only managed 4. It was an absolute barrage, and OKC had no answer for it. And so, as they headed into the locker room, Denver was sitting pretty with a comfortable 9-point lead. You could hear a pin drop in that arena. The Thunder looked totally outmatched, and you really had to wonder, did they have enough left in the tank to actually come back against the champs?
But hey, this is why they play the whole game. The Thunder clawed their way back in the third, and that set the stage for a fourth quarter where all that tension that had been simmering since tip-off, it was about to just explode. This is where the game went from a battle to an all-out war.
And this was the moment. After all that fighting, all that scratching and clawing to get back in it, Lu Dort hits a massive three-pointer. And for the first time in what felt like an eternity, Oklahoma City had the lead. The arena went absolutely bonkers. But that energy was about to spill over in a big, big way. I mean, literally seconds after hitting that go-ahead shot, Dort lays a hard foul on Jokic. And that was it. The fuse was lit. Players from both benches stormed the court, shoving starts. It was just pure chaos. When the dust finally settled, the refs ejected Dort with a flagrant 2 and handed out offsetting techs to Jokic and Jalen Williams. Just an insane, wild sequence.
And yet, after all of that, the comeback, the fight, the ejection, it still wasn't enough to decide a winner. The final buzzer goes off and the score is knotted at 107. As if this game needed any more drama, we were heading to overtime.
All right, so 5 more minutes to settle this thing. But after fighting all the way back, the Thunder was suddenly facing their biggest challenge of the night, trying to finish the job, but without their best player on the floor. That's right. SGA, the MVP who just dropped 36 points to even get them to this point, did not play a single second of overtime. So the question hanging over the entire arena was deafening. Could the rest of this Thunder team possibly find a way to win without their superstar?
And the answer was a resounding yes. I mean, in one of the gutsiest team efforts you will ever see, the Thunder didn't just survive overtime, they completely dominated it. They put up 20 points in 5 minutes, pulling away from the Nuggets to grab an unbelievable win.
Look, make no mistake, this was way more than just one win. This was a statement. This was the Thunder telling their biggest rival, we can beat you with skill, we can beat you with grit, and yeah, we can even beat you without our MVP in the clutch. A huge win, both for the standings and for their confidence.
And before we wrap this up, you just gotta tip your cap to the incredible individual performances in this classic. SGA's heroic 36 in his return, Murray's unbelievable 39 while he was sick, and oh yeah, just another casual, mind-bending triple-double for Nikola Jokic. Just superstars doing superstar things.
And this right here, this is the tangible results of that crazy night. Check out the standings. That one single victory pushed the Thunder's lead in their division to a massive 8.5 games over both Denver and Minnesota. That is a huge cushion to have, and it was built on the back of one incredibly intense win.
So that leaves us with one last thought. With more matchups coming down the road, and maybe even another playoff series, you have to wonder, was this whole explosion a one-time thing, or was this just the opening shot in a rivalry that's about to get even crazier? I don't know about you, but my money is on this just being the beginning.